pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everyone. Sorry we're a little bit late. We did have an exec session to discuss personnel issues. So at this point, we have a special presentation from Mr. Cole.
Are you sure you want me to do this?
Yes.
Absolutely, Mr. Cole.
Well, just to let you know, the Pennsylvania School Board Association actually presented us with a book from Becky Dussinger, who's the Senior Director of the Members Outreach, and from Jessica Port, who's the Outreach Manager for the Central District, called Memoirs of a Parent. And just to give you a little hint about what this is, it's by Devin, I believe you pronounce his name, Sicilian, S-C, well anyway, you can read this. But it follows the relationship between a parent and his owner that starts off rocky but ends with understanding and appreciation. There's illustrations by Tim Bowers, and he brings the characters and their unique personalities to life, making this selection a delight for all ages. And they are giving this to the Snyder Library up there. Mrs. Morrell. Not mad at me anymore. Thank you. Hey, enjoy it.
We will.
Let me know how it ends.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Cole.
Sorry, I think I used 70 extra words.
All right, so at this time, I'd like to recognize any resident or taxpayer of this area school district wishing to address the board about title programming or any other matter or concern of interest properly raised in public session. Please give your name and address. Please give your name and address, and it's requested that comments be kept for 3 minutes.
Hi everyone, Patricia Dewey, Keystone Avenue. I just have a quick, 2 quick questions regarding agenda item number 8B, which is the transportation contracts. First question is, there are 2 separate contracts, D&J and Chambers, are contracted separately, and for what purpose? Does D&J, who is the primary contracted, not have enough buses to cover the needs of the students in the district? That is question 1.
Can you answer that, Mr. President?
Oh, sure. So basically, the Chambers Group, the sub, does the run that we do for VOTAC every day. So they are the ones that do that late morning run, I believe.
Okay.
Pick up, and then on their way back, they come back from VOTAC as well. And they stop at Grace Academy and pick up the kids that are in Ulster that attend Grace Academy from Sarah's. We have to provide them transportation as
Sure, of
well.
course, sure. So
They have
does,
an elementary and a high school run. They have an elementary and a
They have an
and a high
elementary
school
run as well.
Morning and, yeah.
that's
They always
Chambers
have-
or D&J?
Chambers, D&J has several runs, but
Chambers has always been there.
yeah.
Both companies have been there for years. That's just the way it's always been.
Okay, so to refer to the first question, the secondary question of the first question, does D&J not have enough buses to support the district as a whole?
No, we've never been able to, or we've never been totally there anyway.
Okay, so
But
is it a
Chambers
lack
has always had a contract forever.
Sure. Is it a lack of buses or a lack of bus drivers?
Right now, I would say bus drivers, but we've never been asked to do all of them anyway.
Okay,
Chambers has a contract just like we do.
Sure.
Always the two of us together. is
Okay.
all.
so my question 2 is regarding bids for transportation? Were other bids presented to the board, or did we reach out to bid the busing or transportation contract? And if we have not put this out to bid, what is the reasoning for not doing so?
We haven't put it out to bid, and the reasons are several. One is there's no place around right now that's, everybody's got the same problem, shortage of drivers. Second issue is, though, is you actually don't have to ask out contract for
Right.
bus driving, or
Right.
for bus routes.
So, but if we're
Third
not,
thing is, sorry,
nope, you're fine.
we pay the state set rate, so that's the rate set by the state. So
Sure.
the last time we were audited by the state regarding buses, which was my second year here, I think, so 4 or 5 years ago,
Okay,
they said as long as you're doing the state set rate, there's no need to RFP out or do any
Sure.
of those things, so.
completely understand.
Yep.
So I think the main concern with, you mentioned that there's nobody around to bid to.
Yeah.
So if there's no one around to bid to, where are the bids going? That's the concern, I guess. So if you just said there are bids going out, but there's no one to bid to. So which?
Oh,
is
no,
there
there's
one
no
to bid to?
bids going. We haven't bid that out. We've just renegotiated the contract for.
Forever, because it's
Yeah.
what we've always done. Okay, so I guess I'm. what
But
I'm-
part of the reason to bid would be to get a lower price, and the lowest price that you can bid to is the state set rate.
Yeah, no, I guess I'm not super concerned about the price. I feel like the district is in a great financial status if you've reviewed the bills, which I'm sure you have as the business manager. However, I think it's covering the students in the district to make sure that we have enough buses to provide the students the transportation that they need. That's, I guess, the concern. So if we're having contracts for 2 companies, I'm assuming that Chambers would also be able to contract us fully. That's what I'm questioning. Can we sort of review to see if Chambers can cover the buses and the transportation needs for the students in the district completely? Why do we have to separate?
Oh, we could certainly look into that.
Okay, so, sorry, I know that went over the 3 minutes, I apologize. So I guess my last point would be that this agenda item, 8B, during your vote, I would really just appreciate if you could all sort of keep that in consideration when voting for this. I just think that it needs to be reviewed a bit more.
Thank you.
That's all. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Thank you, Mr. Claypool. Thank you, Ms. Hewitt. All right, so moving on to the consent agenda. We have the minutes of last meeting. Instruction, including conference request, field trip request, district volunteers, 2022 through 2027 K through 12 school counseling guidance plan, athletics, including a new sports program, a motion to approve adding girls varsity and junior high wrestling as a PIAA sanctioned sport, finance to include the treasurer's report, the accelerated budget opt-out resolution, Act 1, a letter of collaborative agreement between Sarah Area School District and Mary Kay and Therapeutic Family Care, a service proposal to approve the Category 1 and Category 2 E-rate services between Quest Tech and Sarah Area School District, a lease agreement between Higher Information Group and the Sarah Area School District, approved purchase for a true 3-door T72 cooler refrigerator with extra shelves at an approximate cost not to exceed $15,000. An approved tractor purchase for a new Kubota tractor not to exceed $85,000. Personnel, including employment, a first reading of policy, a final reading of policy, and that's it for the consent agenda.
Motion.
Well, can we have some discussion first? I have a question.
We have to have a motion and a
Oh,
second.
sorry. That's okay.
So we have a motion. Do we have a second for the consent agenda?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yeah. My turn. What's the tractor? Is this a replacement? Is this something new? I'm just curious because I didn't hear anything about it before, so.
It's a replacement. It was built into the budget as one of our items to improve the vehicles and maintenance. It also does a few extra things that the previous tractor didn't. This one has an attachment that can build trenches for it, or dig trenches and do some stuff like that. So it's basically the replacement of a tractor.
Can be used for like snow removal, those types of things?
Yeah, snow removal, plowing, it has the brushes on it that you can use. It can work at our baseball, softball field. It can do all those kinds of things.
Okay, good. Thanks.
Any other discussion? All right, hearing none. So we have a motion, a second. Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. So for roll call agendas, we have bills. So, Mr. Pacheco. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, so I need a motion for the bills.
Motion.
Second?
So we have a motion and a second. Any discussion about the bills? No, Mr. Pacheco?
We'll begin with Mrs. Agnew.
Yes, except I abstain on number 2, please.
Mr. Cole?
Yes, I need to abstain on number 16.
Mr. Hadlock?
Yes.
Mr. Hickey?
Yes.
Mrs. Kmetz?
Yes.
Mr. Root?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes, abstain on 78 through 83.
And Mr. Petrini?
Yes. So the next is a recommendation to approve the transportation contracts for 2023-2024 as presented.
Motion.
So I have a motion.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion?
I think the only thing my discussion as a, well, I'm sitting here as a board member, but I see the busing every day, and I think that a discussion about trying to potentially, I know it's been talked about splitting the elementary and high school students again. I think we have to have that conversation. And I know it's part of the bus contract, so I'm just gonna say it in public because it's an issue.
Let those kids ride the same bus together.
K-12 bus.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, my kids won't even ride the bus.
Anything else?
Anybody else have any further discussion?
How would that be feasible?
It used to happen. My daughter, when she was in kindergarten,
Pre-COVID, we had K-6 buses that ran
Yeah.
out to Litchfield and 712
Yeah.
buses that ran out to Litchfield. Since COVID, we have reduced the number of runs, we've increased the number of walkers. We are still not at the state regs for the walkers. We still bus students in town to the, less than the mileage we're permitted. But we had to do that with the lack of drivers across the county, state, and nation. It's a dilemma. So I welcome the conversation and the thoughts, and if anybody has a solution or can think, we have our current elementary school, we start at 8:05
Correct.
arrival, and here it's at 8:05 as well, but they come in for breakfast at 7:45. When they drop the high school students off here, they do an in-town run to pick up a few more students and then go over to the elementary school and drop off at 8:05. Because you don't start breakfast before 8:05, it's a grab-and-go breakfast.
Correct.
Yeah, so we'd have to have that conversation. It could be 3 additional buses along with 3 additional drivers, if that's the solution. We can't reduce anywhere else, so I just
I mean,
want
I think there's definitely a solution. It just maybe some heads at the table to
Sure.
talk about.
I will absolutely take that to transportation and have that conversation. Any other thoughts about it?
So any other discussion about the transportation contracts? All right. Mr. Jacob.
We'll begin with Mr. Cole.
Yes.
Mr. Hadlock?
Yes.
Mr. Hickey?
Yes.
Mrs. Kmetz?
Yes.
Mr. Root?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Mrs. Agnew?
I abstain.
Mr. Petrini.
Yes. The amendment to the support contract. The administration recommends amending the staff contract with new hourly wages as noted below. Paraprofessional and secretarial staff from $13.62 to $15.50 in the year 23-24 and 24-25 at step 1. Paraprofessional and secretarial staff from $14.98 to $15.50 in the 23-24 at step 2. Paraprofessional and secretary staff from $15.48 to $16 in 24-25 school year at step 2. Custodians and cafeteria staff from $12.72 to $15.50 in 23-24 and 24-25 at step 1. Custodian cafeteria staff from $14.08 to $15.50 in the 23-24 school year at step 2. Custodians and cafeteria staff from $14.58 to $16 in the 24-25 school year at step 2. Custodians and cafeteria staff from $14.94 to $15.50 in the 23-24 school year at step 3. Custodians and cafeteria staff from $15.44 to $16 in the 24-25 school year at step 3. Maintenance and IT health staff from $16.42 to $17.50 in the 23-24 and 24-25 school years at step 1. Effective on this date, the agreement is signed and not retroactive for the current school year, pending final agreement with the support staff. And that is a recommendation.
Motion to approve.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Pacheco?
We'll begin with Mr. Hadlock.
Yes.
Mr. Hickey.
No.
Mrs. Kometz.
Yes.
Mr. Roof.
Yes.
Mr. Shaw.
Yes.
Mrs. Agnew.
Yes.
Mr. Cole.
Yes.
Mr. Petrini.
Yes. Thank you very much. Moving on to reports, the high school principal's report.
I don't think I'll use this either. I don't think I need it. So, good evening. I wanted to say thank you to all the teams and student groups who helped us out at Spooktacular. We had a really great turnout that night, and it's really fun being on the high school staff to see all the younger kids coming through in their costumes. It was a really nice evening. We had parent-teacher conferences last week. Everything went really well. Thank you to all the families who came out for those. I would like to announce that our October Artist of the Month is Kylie Latimer Reifenberg. So her artwork is on display down at Stonehouse Retirement Income Planners in downtown Sayre. I think she's got 2 things down there right now. And lastly, our speech and debate team had their first competition this last weekend, and they earned a 2nd place team finish, so congrats to them. That's it.
Thank you very much, Ms. Seeley. Elementary school, Mrs. Morella.
Now it's, you have to twist and turn on. It's complicated.
I have a teacher's voice. I just can't hear at home, so that's what Mrs. Fitzgerald just whispered to me, so. Fitzpatrick. What they call you, I'll always get it right now. We can hear that. Yeah, I think we're gonna turn it on.
That's a no. I'll just stay right over there. Teacher voice. They're gonna
No. So again, with Spooktacular, just thank you to everyone, the Snyder PTG, the Sayre Student Councils, the Sayre Teachers Union, Decatur's, Williams Ford, Walmart, J. Wheelock Hose Company, for their donations during Spooktacular. We had a wonderful evening along with our parade at the elementary school. Thank you to everybody that came out. It was well attended and went very smoothly. So thank you everyone for their help with that. We're getting more students meeting their goals during our weekly spring math achievements. So we're very proud of our students making those goals. We also had well-attended parent-teacher conferences this past Thursday and Friday. Professional development days, my group will be in Letters 2 training as part of our requirements to move through that. I think it's been very helpful with some of the things that our teachers have looked at and how they're rethinking the curriculum and ways that they're presenting information to our students. Thank you to everybody for the Rusty Rail contest. It was a closely contested contest between our 6th grades and 2nd grade, Mr. Sudrick and Ms. Nolby's room, so they will both be receiving a prize for that. Our PBIS winners, prize winners were announced today for the month of November, so thank you to our 20-plus winners that came down to the office and got their pictures taken today. We will be resetting that prize for December, so remember, Mr. Cole, mark your calendar, even though there's lots of activities going on at Snyder along in conjunction with high school, Santa and his elves will still be watching. And finally, just a thank you to everybody that helped while I was out. I had to take a few days off. You always have that apprehension of when I'm away, those will play or worry about what will happen. But I must say, it was very smooth. So Mr. Claypool, you probably can get your pencil out and take off my salary because they really don't need me there in that building. They do an excellent job and ran it quite well without me. So thank you for everybody for that and making my days off a lot less stressful. That's all I have. Thank you.
Mrs. Morel, before you step away, can I ask, November 17th, we have a special celebration?
Oh yes, our 50th birthday party for Snyder will be that day around 2 o'clock. We're going to have some musical presentations. We're going to have some special guests. So if you would like to come, please let me know and we'll have some special seating for you for the board members. So about 2:15.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for the reminder, Dr. Tolosia.
Anytime.
Mark your calendar, Mr. Cole.
November 17th, yes.
PSBA, Mr. Cole.
Thank you, Mr. Green. Being a PSBA liaison as well as a section advisor, I do want to say thank you to Mr. Shaw for his 40 years on the board. Thank you for your service, Mr. Shaw. Appreciate that. And many thanks to you for being a part of our team of 10. As I'll continue on down here, I just wanted to let everyone know that the legislative platform was okayed, including the changes for 2024. Deb and I believe Kevin, we all took part in the delegates conference down at PSBA. Also, the treasurer's report was given for 2022, and unfortunately, there was about a $155,000 deficit, but they claim that was due to inflationary times, dealing with the medical costs and the operating expenses at the time down at PSBA. Also, Allison Mathis is our new president-elect, Sabrina Backer is our new VP, and Karen Pooley is our new treasurer down at the Pennsylvania School Board Association. They'll be serving on the 2024 governing board. The PSBA bulletin is out. Assistive technology is the topic, so hope you folks have a chance to scan through the latest edition there. And starting December 9th, new and advanced school board trainings will be starting up. They'll be Zooming them as well as doing them live and in person for trainings. The best thing, especially for upcoming board members and for new board members that will be taking their seats up here come December, one of the things I would highly suggest is that you do take one of these courses, because it'll encompass everything for you, and not only that, but you can get this done in one shot instead of trying to piecemeal it together. But however which way you're going to do it, I'm sure it'll work out well for you. But that's just a quick suggestion. But that's everything from PSBA, Mr. Petrini.
All right. NTCC.
Here we go. Just want to say thank you to Fastenal and the UTLX. They donated welding gloves to the students that are taking part in that field of study down at the down at the North Towanda facility. Also, $85,000 was also given out in students, man, I'll tell you what, it must be a Monday, I'll tell you. $85,000 of student scholarships was given to the Center for various supplies and materials through PS Bank for students for different materials and supplies. This has been ongoing for the past 3 or 4 years. 41 students are currently doing co-op studies down at the center, and also the center tours for prospective students in junior high. They'll be starting up in December, right around the 11th. And also congrats to one of our seniors, Faith Swaghammer. She was named secretary for the Afternoon Skills USA leadership team. So we want to say congratulations to her. That's everything, Mr. Petrini.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Cole. Last IU, Mrs. Agnew.
Just a few of the highlights. The papers you have will be, can tell you everything. Is there enough there? Well, a couple of the big things, the safety, the comprehensive school threat assessment guidelines. They've been working on that. They received the training. The educational planning report. They have mobile science and math education program grant to help support the math and science instruction in the classroom. Dr. Steinbecker Reed, in partnership with Dr. Michael Reed, who is the president of Penn Tech College. They awarded the Boy Scouts of America Distinguished Citizen Award. The banquet is to be held November 28th. They have a para-educator grant. Do you? Dr.
Sure,
Douglas,
that
if
is,
you know a little bit about
they
that.
received a grant at the IU that would help paraprofessionals who want to go on in their education and earn a teaching degree. It's a supportive grant of funding through a specific university for that funding, so they would help out. That, so I did share that information, and I had a conversation with Dr. Reed. Our current CBA allows our paraprofessionals to go back to school and earn credits, and we reimburse for those credits as well. So I don't know if that's in combination thereof, and so we would need to follow up on that. So, but it's a great grant opportunity across the IU's 19 school districts to opt into that paraeducator grant. Thank you. You're welcome.
The IU has recently made their own merchandise store, so you can go online and get stuff like you can at any other school districts, how they have their merchandise stuff. Their comprehensive planning process, they're doing the updates on that. Legislative, the House Bill 27 that they're still working on. Future Ready Index, anticipated release first week of November, with building scores released at the same time. The Act 158 graduation report, which is the first time reporting the number of students graduating through each approved pathway. Armed Forces recruiters, they have the legislative updates, House update currently 102, 101. They're hoping to change it. 1 rep is leaving. It always changes the numbers depending on how that ends up. House Bill 27, the classroom monitors and school safety grants, they're back and forth between the House and Senate. As usual, nobody can decide anything, so that's still standing. And then House Bill 1300, the fiscal code bill for determinations of how to spend the remaining 25 to 30%, including student teacher stipends and level up directions. No movement in the Senate. Does that? Basically, that's it.
All right.
Same old, same old.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Agnew. I'd like to shout out the students that are in the Quiz Bowl. From what I understand, our A team, maybe, our red team, however, won won all of their matches against other school districts. There was, and then our blue team, well, they beat Athens. So.
That's good enough.
That's good enough, right? So, no, thanks to Mr. Roy for leading those kids and doing that. I know it's kind of a predecessor to the scholarship challenge, so got a lot of smart kiddos on that. And so they're doing a good job. So, and it's awesome to be in the little school with the big heart and smoking the competition in the Rusty Rail. So that's always great news to hear. So I appreciate that, all the hard work the staff and the students put into that. So that's all I have.
All right, so I feel like I haven't given a report in a while because I was absent from the second October meeting and our third one, the special meeting, so I haven't given a report since early October, so just bear with me, all right? We had a lot going on in October, as you heard, between Spooktacular and then parent conferences, and of course Trick or Treat was in there somewhere, and there was a lot of activity. So I just want to share with the board that I appreciate the support to continue on with the national certification program that I'm in. I was there at the early October, and so I'm halfway through that program. It's a 2-year program, so again, thank you for the support. In October, the reason I missed that meeting was Ron Cole and I were at the PASA and PSBA conference in the Poconos area, and we attended a multitude of sessions, some together and some apart from each other to learn a little bit. And I just wanted to share that I attended a session with a student engagement facilitator that talked about their portrait of a graduate and how they're working with engagement facilitators to encourage students to stay connected to their school, to their climate, and continue to move on, and those extracurriculars are so important for them to do so. I also attended a session on structured literacy, the key strategies and the impacts on student achievement, as well as the implementation process that's coming through under that Act 55 structured literacy. I then went to a session with Dr. Sherry Smith and Michelle Ballett. Dr. Michelle Ballett, both retired superintendents or repurposed superintendents now in their new role at PASA. And they talked about leading for a new vision in public education, managing the change and a constant fluctuation of what we deal with in public education. A session on navigating unexpected turbulence. That was quite interesting, about communication and gathering information. So I appreciate attending those conferences and gaining and learning through all of those. I want to especially thank Michael Wayman for rescheduling the parade. Her and her team work really hard for our homecoming every year, and we got rained out. But she came to the table and asked if we could do a Rusty Rail parade, and she invited the Athens band and teams to join us, and we had a lot of camaraderie. I want to thank the Epiphany Church for letting us stage in their parking lot and come down the street and turn left on Lockhart, and we had a great celebration, so I really appreciated that. And the sidewalks were filled, and we were throwing out candy, and we missed Mr. Cole. We didn't get to drive a golf cart. Mrs. Morrell filled in, and we'll give him the keys next year. So he's back in the saddle next year to do it. I do want to say a special congratulations to our student council, K-12, the entire group. It's probably more like 4-12 of our student council and the entire school community for filling the shelves of the Salvation Army. I mean, what a feat. Little school with the big heart, honestly. That Rusty Rail food drive is amazing every year, and I know that the major really appreciates that when we send the students that way. So I do want to share with the community that this coming Thursday, 21 juniors and seniors will be inducted into the National Honor Society right here on this stage Thursday evening at 7 o'clock. So I'm very excited to have that induction ceremony this year. And then I want to thank Nicole Lamberti, who is a member of our local press, and she receives information from me, and she put out a press release for the Redmond Wall of Fame, as Coach McCabe was inducted into that Wall of Fame, along with the Rusty Rail. She connected with Amy Ronberger, Diane Lamana, Cambria Ely, and myself to put out the Rusty Rail food drive and get that out to the community. So I thank her for that as well. And Dr. Fitzpatrick sitting down there. So in addition to the guidance plan that has to be sent to the state and doing some revisions to that, thank you for your work and your effort and helping Amber, our new high school counselor, as you're mentoring her and helping her with that process. It's what, every 3 to 4 years we have to do that. So in a mentoring year, you get to do that again. So I appreciate all your work on that. The board approved it tonight, so we'll submit that to the state and have it in plenty of time. And as Deb had said this evening, December 1st, the graduation report is a brand new report required by the state. It's due on December 1st in the high school counselor's office, and Mrs. Ely worked through that diligently to get that work ready to go. Mr. Handrick helped as well, so I appreciate all the work that went into that graduation report that needs to go up. And I do want to call your attention to the back side of the IU report on House Bill 27, just so that you can see the second bulleted item from the bottom. So one of the things that's out there in House Bill 27 is the 180 versus the 990 versus 900. So currently, public schools across the state of Pennsylvania have to put in 180 days and 900 hours at the elementary level or 990 hours at the secondary level. That word "and" is actually "or" for the charter schools. So you can do 180 days, or you can do 900 hours at the elementary level and 990 at the secondary level. So the state is looking to change that to "or" for the public school system as well. So we have that information. We're starting to have conversations with educators and leaders within education so that we can be prepped and prepared for that in the event something like that would happen. So I just wanted to point that piece out to everybody, all right? And it was a longer report than normal, but thank you.
No, thank you very much.
Okay.
All right, so future meetings. The next Sarah Area School Board of Directors meeting will be December 4th, 7 o'clock, here at the high school auditorium. This will be our reorganizational meeting. Good luck to all those candidates that are on the ballot.
Go vote.
Go vote, absolutely. Community Relations and Wellness. That meeting will be held on November 7th at 5:30 here in the Administration Conference Room. Buildings and Grounds, there was a change in that. It'll be November 20th is what I have instead of November 7th.
That's correct. That was changed after the agenda was done today.
Okay.
And it's at 6:15.
At 6:15 in the Administration Conference Room. Thank you for that. Curriculum and Instruction will be November 13th at 5:30 in the conference room. And Technology will be November 13th at 6:30 conference room. So with that, recommend to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Have a motion, have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?